before. And then Alex actually, gets on stream, starts talking about it, where he's going to upgrade such a popular, a well-established, fun product like Hedron and do all these extra stuff with it and the cross-chain swap. So yeah, at first it was a little bit of angst, and then I was like, this is the most exciting news I've heard for a long time for any of the community projects. So that was my first reaction. But how about you? Yeah, and we could talk about, I mean, you covered a lot yesterday too, but I wanted to ask, like, the game theory portion of the biggest part. Like, how does this, people there have been books written that include Hedron. I'm thinking of cryptographics right now. I'm like, you read a book explaining this stuff. You've done a ton of content going through each little piece of game theory and the technical details. How does this change the way we look at Hedron and the way that you look at it?
Well, honestly, it changes all of it. And I was thinking about it. I was reading it. It's like, man, pretty much all my content I've created on it before is like not really that relevant anymore. I'm going to have to go back and redo a lot of my slides and like rethink through things. And I haven't even completed that yet because, well, one, we don't have all the details, right? This was just the teaser information of phase one. So we don't even, from what I understood of what Alex had said in that text that he wrote in Telegram, this isn't even everything, right? Like there's more stuff coming and there's more mechanics to understand. So really we're kind of in a place of flux in terms of like, what's the game theory going to be, but it does help to understand it each step of the way. So we can get on the ball quicker as everything comes out. In terms of what's obviously changing, like the ceiling prices are more dynamic with Icosa now, because there's a sliding scale. So it's like if it's under the ceiling price, you actually mint more Icosa than before. When you would just mint that base rate, you can mint extra based on how far we're away from the ceiling price, and that gets staked away. So the ceiling price is now dynamic, and then also you have leverage on your Hedron loans, so you can do up to 10x leverage when you want to borrow against your Hedron, which I think is pretty cool to have that extra ability to, like, lever up a little bit on your hex stakes and get a lot more Hedron quickly, and also increase the probability that people default and get those stakes onto the auction house. And then the fact that you can use both coins on either chain to stake and earn inflation of the system. It creates a lot of new game theory there, where it's like, do you take all of your Ethereum tokens and do you bridge them over to stake on PulseChain? Do you take your PulseChain tokens, do you bring them over to Ethereum and stake? Like, what do you do? I'm still thinking through, like, what are the different options based on different goals that you might have, and like how would you go about making those decisions? So there's a lot of new things to think about and a lot of new ways to combine folding yield into each other, which I know Crypto Kool-Aid is big about, and Red Squirrel in the chat with the Tetra stuff. So it's a good thing Tetra hasn't come out, because we would have to rewrite I would have to rewrite all of the scripts that I would have already written for Hedron. So that's kind of nice.
Is there stuff that a lot of the criticisms of Hedron, do you think they've been addressed in the upgrade as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think some of them have. The getting extra Icosa for the thing increases the incentive to do HSI buybacks, which is good. There were some other things that it addressed too that I can't remember off the top of my head. But basically, I think it's starting to address a lot of those concerns. I'm blanking right now. And there were good updates to the auctions to prevent bots from having too much power, too much advantage over an actual user. And there are a lot more fees being taken from the system. Like when you make a bid, there's a fee in the marketplace. Those fees are paid in Hedron and Icosa and whatnot, and those are getting distributed to stakers. So more yield is being generated, increasing the value proposition of the staking pools, which increases the value of the tokens inherently.
So is that just at a high level too, then, is that the biggest, I guess, game theory change is going to incentivize people to stake more and to use the auctions more, or feel like they're going to get, not botted away, and feel like they're going to get deals on stuff where otherwise they wouldn't feel like even participating because they know they're not going to win, that kind of thing?
Yeah, that's possible. Sorry, say that question one more time. I just make sure I got it.
Like just the ideal that the biggest changes were around the game theory have been okay, now I have to adjust my thesis on how much should I stake, or how long should I stake, and how much should I participate in the auctions.
So I think most of this stuff is pushing momentum in the direction of staking more, because it's pushing things in the directions of more yield and more HSIs in the liquidation auction, which also means more yield, and more Hedron burn, which translates into more yield. But Not only that, we have already kind of hit that dilemma a little bit with PHUX being released and having the Alex pool with all of those tokens available to have like pretty high double digit and even low triple digit APRs, which are out earning the staking pools in the first place. So we already even have situations where it's like staking it natively isn't the best option from an ROI, from an APR perspective, and an ROI perspective on like how you can have your coins earn the most. So this is just adding another layer of complexity on top of that, where it's like you have now multiple places to put your coins and earn yield on it. And so the question becomes like, what is the like the properties of that yield, like from like metaphysically, like what are the properties of that yield? Where is it coming from? What are the risks you're taking, and then what are you earning that yield in? And then you have to juxtapose that with your goals and how big your bag is, et cetera, et cetera. And so long term, or like generally, I think this is a good thing, because the more places you can put your coins besides a liquidity pool in terms of selling, the less likely those coins are going to hit the market. So more staking, more options, more places to put your money is better than less.